Hi everybody, it's Anna back with Unearthed Arcana, and I am excited to bring us another episode of our Skyrim Wildlander mod pack Let's Play, following the permadeath adventures of Akai, our two-handed, heavy armor orc bruiser lady. Just look at her, she's just like ready to chop off some heads. Oh, I love her, she's amazing. She's got that awesome like red handprint on her face too, just ready to like kill people and just take their skulls back to the stronghold. For those of you who don't know Wildlander, this is a mod pack that focuses on a total immersion and role-playing and survival-based overhaul for the Skyrim base game. You can get it on Wabachak. Check out the Discord or the Reddit community to learn more about it. It's really awesome. I think it's like my favorite way to play Skyrim, certainly in 2024. We're going to be playing a permadeath version of that, so if our character dies, that's going to be the end of her adventure. We also have unpaused menus, which means even if my menu is open, even if I'm in first person, the game continues to run, and I can't just like open the menu to quickly chug potions in the middle of battle. You'll also notice that we have no HUD on the screen. So there's no resource bars, we can't see enemy health, we can't see a crosshair, so all this just makes the game much more visceral and immersive, but also a lot harder. So the whole point of the Akai runs is to showcase the heavy armor, two-handed style of gameplay and give you some ideas about how you can make the combat techniques work for you when you're clearing out your own dungeons and fighting enemies. And today, we're going to be hitting Fort Neugrad, which you can kind of see there over on the left side of the screen. It's the bandit fort that's just south of Helgen. Last time we did Embershard Mine at level 1. Now we're going to hit Fort Neugrad today. Since last time, we did level up. So I leveled up at the end of the last episode after I sold all my loot. And then at level 2, I got 1 point in stamina, so my stamina went up from I think like 110 to 115. And then I got a perk in smithing, and then I used my smithing perk to craft a full set of steel armor and some steel weaponry. Leveled up a second time, and then I grabbed a perk in marksman, so that way we can effectively use our ranged weaponry. And then our other perks, we have 2 points in two-handed weapon, and the Great Weapon Mastery perk, which is really essential so our weapon strikes hit hard and we can do fewer of them and manage our stamina a little bit better. We got 2 points in block here, which will allow us to effectively and sustainably block stuff over the course of a long combat. And then we have 2 points in heavy armor here, so that way we can knock enemies over when we sprint into them and our stamina won't tank when we're running around the battlefield. As far as inventory goes, I'm rocking a full set of steel weaponry that I forged over in Riverwood. Plus we have the full set of steel armor that I upgraded at the workbench. Kind of small upgrades, 93 armor versus a 90 base armor, and you can kind of see that there in these columns. But it's nice to have upgraded armor in the early game, it can make a big difference. For potions, I have some crude and decent health and stamina potions that I bought in Riverwood. We got this fortified two-handed potion over at Embershard when we were looting that at the end of the last episode. Then we have a healing poultice just to heal up in between fights. For food, I have mammoth tomato stew and beef stew. Grab those at the Sleeping Giant Inn. You always need to have a stamina regeneration buff when you're playing a heavy armor character. Honestly, any character, but heavy armor it's even more essential. And I just grabbed the mammoth tomato stew because it was in stock and it lasts for 7,200 seconds, so it's pretty long duration. And then Sleeping Giant Inn actually had some beef stew, so I grabbed that, and that'll give me a bonus 50 health for 1,800 seconds, which is also really good in the early game where health really matters. Honestly, beef stew is good at all phases of the game. I recommend you almost always try to grab this when you can. I got some alchemy ingredients because I might eventually do some alchemy with this character, some kind of random books. I think I looted this in Embershard. Got the Embershard key, and then just some random miscellaneous equipment too. And I'm hanging out by this fire here so my poor character doesn't get cold, even though she is cold right now, but hopefully she warms up a bit, or at least doesn't get too much more too much colder while we're talking. Okay, so before we hit Fort Neugrad, let's talk about the techniques that we covered while we were doing Embershard Mine last time for two-handed heavy armor combat. So we talked about chopping down the tree. That's the name that I give the technique when you just kind of slam your sword into a shield to deal damage through an enemy's block, because two-handed weapons have better armor penetration and damage. It's kind of a cheap and dirty way to just kind of end a fight even if an enemy's holding up block. We talked about bash interruption. Basically just using your sword here to kind of tap and do a quick pommel or hilt strike to disrupt an enemy mid-swing, stagger them, and then get a quick counter swing of our own, which you know, is kind of like the most fundamental technique in two-handed combat. And then we also talked about cutting the corner. When enemies do these big kind of wind-up, swinging, lunging power attacks, instead of blocking that, which is always a bad idea for the most part because you're still going to take a ton of damage even through the block, and instead of laterally sidestepping or like sprinting to the side, which means that we'll dodge the attack but then be too far away to counterattack, we're going to quickly cut out and then cut to their back and then do a quick swing at their flank or their back to get a counterattack at the end of their own power attack. And that means that we're not breaking our contact distance and we're able to keep the fight close without getting too far away where we can't counter swing. So those are the three big techniques. We also talked about like funneling, luring enemies into narrow areas, stuff like that. But let's get into the fight today. Also, funny side note, we did not get to see any more of the amazing cameo of, I think his name is Nogrub. He's like the son of some orc lady who's in an orc stronghold. He just randomly joined us in the Embershard Mine at the very, very end. I had a funny joke on YouTube and on Discord about how like maybe he was looking for wives to claim, but honestly, I don't know if Akai is someone who's like gonna get claimed as a wife. Honestly, she's probably more the type to do the claiming in any relationship, so anyway, I'm not sure how that worked out for Nagra, but if we see him again, that'll be fun. But for now, he's just hanging out in Embershard, I think. Okay, so let's get closer to Fort Neugrad. For those of you who remember the vanilla lore, Fort Neugrad is a bandit fort that used to be an imperial fort, but the bandits overrun the garrison there kind of right after the vanilla game starts. This is actually the fort where the Dragonborn and Ulfric Stormcloak and the rebels are held at overnight before they go to Helgen because the pass is blocked off. I'm gonna pop my beef stew and mammoth tomato stew here and have a little water as well. So I've come to the side of the fort as we kind of get a little bit closer, but here's where the fort is on the map, just kind of south of Riverwood. Helgen's right here. And then the border crossings right there. So first technique we're going to talk about today is called armor swapping. Armor swapping is basically you just take your heavy armor off to sneak closer to an enemy emplacement, and that way you can scout it out, you can get better positioning, and even though I don't have any perks in stealth / sneak, the guy who's up on this wall here, and there's probably an archer wandering around on the wall, they can't hear me or see me, so I'll get a little bit closer before the fight starts. You can do this in the middle of battle too, but it's kind of cheesy and I don't recommend it, even just because like you can get tagged by a crossbow bolt while you're swapping armor and then you'll just die. So not recommended. There's a guy like right there in the courtyard. We can see that this guy here has some sort of like staff or two-handed weapon on their back. So that means this is either a mage or maybe a two-handed warrior type. It's a little hard to tell from this distance, but we'll just try to get a little bit closer and hope they don't... Yeah, they didn't see us. That's good. Okay, so now that we're inside the actual Fort Neugrad courtyard, we're going to switch back to our heavy armor in a second. You could kind of hear the footsteps. Yeah, you can hear the footsteps of that archer or someone up there. Typically in Wildlander, if there's people patrolling the ramparts of a bandit fort... Oh shit. I don't know, did that guy just see me? He definitely almost saw me. That's really scary. I'm gonna pop back into my armor just in case. Anyway, if they're on the ramparts, they're probably an archer. Let's load up our crossbow though. So as far as mods go, I have a mod that means that our crossbow only loads if we manually load it. I can't swap it in and out and it'll load automatically. And then I also have sight-aligned crossbow aiming, which means that I don't need a crosshair because I have no HUD, and I can still aim with this. So I love crossbows on most characters. They're a great way to initiate from far away. So we're going to deal with this archer in a second, but first thing I want to do is I hear someone hammering over here, and I'd love to initiate on this guy. So I could get a sneak attack here, but that feels very cowardly, so I'm just going to let this guy see me. And then I'm just going to shoot him as he runs up to me. What that does is it means I get a quick shot in there without actually having to worry about wasting stamina. Ooh, there's a mage down there in the courtyard. So what we're going to do here is let's get our light on. We're going to run down this archer and we're going to knock him over. So this is the Relentless Onslaught perk. You can see I just ran into him, knocked him over, killed him. Now I'm going to run back into this tower. So super important technique there for heavy armor is that knockdown, aka a bull rush is kind of the name of the technique in Requiem, the one that I'll use. When you bull rush an enemy, basically you're sprinting at them in heavy armor, and if you're heavier than they are, you'll knock them over. And then I ran to this little tower here so the mage wouldn't hit me, and this kind of random Dunmer lady followed me. Alright, so fighting her, we're just going to use some of our techniques that we talked about last time. So we have chopping down the tree. We have a little corner cut right there. She did a lunging power attack kind of right as we were cutting the corner already. And then we were just able to swing and oh my god, we just like chopped her fucking arm off. Blood, so much blood. That's that dismembering framework mod that I had. So 2 easy kills right there, 3 easy kills. We got the guy in the courtyard initially. We just let him charge us, shot him with a crossbow and finished him off. Then we bull rushed. Oh my god, that's a flame atronach. That is super duper scary. I think the bandit probably summoned this. Well, we're obviously not going to fight a flame atronach. We're going to wait for this to wear out. That'll probably last like 60 seconds or maybe 20 seconds. Probably at this point it's 60 seconds. We're not doing anything until this flame atronach's gone. Okay, flame atronach is gone. That's super, super scary. If you're in the early game and you get enemies who are summoning like crazy monsters like flame or frost atronachs at level 3, just hang out until those disappear. You do not want to fight those because they will kill you. Anyway, so we killed that first guy with a quick crossbow bolt to the chest and a follow-up greatsword swing. Then we bull rushed the Argonian, killed him in 1 hit after we knocked him over. Ran in here to get a little bit of cover. This lady followed us, and then we were able to cut the corner on her and chop her down. And we're still at full health. I don't think we've been hit at all. We've already killed 3 bandits. Okay, let's talk more about crossbows, because we got to deal with some guys in the courtyard here. I don't know where they are. I don't see them. When we're working with crossbows, we talked about this in the last episode, we don't want to hug cover. Hugging cover is when we're right up here on the cover point, which feels safe. You see this all the times in video games, and it's just like, this is not what people do in real life. This is just like bad use of cover. Because when you're on the cover like this, I can't see anything that's coming through this doorway. And in order to see anything on the other side of cover, I have to get way the fuck out here, and then I'm super exposed. So instead of hugging cover, I want to be off of cover, and then use cover at a distance. So here, I can slowly see things as I work around cover, and I get the same benefit as if I was right here, except my visibility is better, and I can see more of it as I work around this cover point to gradually open up the space without getting my whole body exposed. So concepts that we'll cover there and we'll kind of reuse throughout the episodes, or this episode rather. Don't hug cover. And then also we want to gradually open up cover. The technique itself is called slicing the pie. So we want to be slicing the pie away from cover, not while hugging it right here. Honestly, this is just like good advice for any game that involves kind of point and click range weaponry. Skyrim has this weird overlap with like tactical shooters in that regard. We are very cold right now, so I don't want to talk too much more because I don't want my character to get too much colder. But let's use our concept here to gradually kind of like work out into this space. Okay, so we don't want to hug this wall, because if I hug this wall and someone's right around the corner, they're just going to get me right in the face. So I'm going to slowly work around. I hear someone, but I don't see anybody. I don't see any movement. I don't know where these guys are. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak. Sneaking in heavy armor is not super efficient, but like, people will miss you if they're far away. I think that guy is back at his carriage. Yeah, that's him. You can kind of see him like right there. I could snipe this guy from here. It would probably kill him, but I would rather demonstrate another technique to take this guy down, which is called just kind of bounding cover, leapfrogging cover to close the distance on a mage, and then I'll try to bull rush him at the end. So first thing let's do is get our light back on. Let's just get his attention. Hi, buddy. Oh, he's got like all sorts of fire stuff. This is really scary. Okay, so the best way to do this is we want to find the route that's going to keep us as unexposed as possible. So it looks like there's cover there. There's also some cover in this courtyard here. Problem with this cover though, and again, I'm not hugging cover. I'm not going to hang out here and then like face check like that. I'm gonna stay off of cover. I get the exact same benefit, but way more visibility, and like gradually work out like that. Okay, so there's really no great trajectory to get to this guy. Like, I could run from here to get towards this guy, but it's like a huge open space, and that's probably gonna result in me dying, so I'm not gonna go that way. Ooh, he just summoned some- okay, he just summoned a wolf. Ow. These spirit wolves are really silly. Okay, so we got rid of his summon. Let's take a different route. That route's obviously not very good. I think this route's gonna be better. So let's run to our first cover point. Again, it's really tempting to hug the cover here, but like, we just don't want to get face checked by this guy. So I'm gonna get off of cover slightly. So I think what I'm gonna do is go from this cover point to this column. And again, try to stay off of cover as much as possible. Like, I don't need to be right here. Oh, what the fuck did he just summon? Is that another flame atronach? God fucking damn it, it's a flame atronach! Run away! Oh no! Oh my god, flame atronachs are so scary! We are not fighting this guy with his flame atronach out there, Jesus. So on permadeath, we do not want to be fighting flame atronachs. It's a bad idea at level 1. I'm okay with this though. I can see him through this window and I don't think he and his flame atronach can reach me. Oh Jesus, the flame atronach's coming for me! I wonder if I can shoot this guy through this window. I've never actually tried before. Ow. Okay, let's just like not check out the flame atronach. I'm gonna try to shoot this guy through the window. That'd be amazing if this really works. I actually think it might work if I just aim slightly better. I've never tried this before. But the concept we're doing right now, I call tactical disengagement. If the enemy has done something that is just like an absolutely unbeatable situation, I think I just heard the flame atronach disappear, like summoning a fucking flame atronach while we're level 3, we are not going to fight that person. We're just gonna break, wait for that to go away, and then we're gonna try again. Okay, so let's try to shoot this guy. I don't know if I'm just missing or if it's like disappearing or something. So I'm just gonna go back to our other plan. I am gonna pop a crude health potion though, just to be on the safe side. Alright, assuming this guy doesn't summon any more frickin' flame atronachs, let's try this again. So we're gonna go back to our first cover point, get our sword out. I heard him like use mage armor or something. Is that another fucking flame atronach? Jesus Christ, this fucking guy! Alright, we're just gonna kill this guy. We're gonna kill this guy using our... Yikes! Zigzag! Okay. Ooh, that was super scary. Okay, let's get back to cover. In this case, cover is gonna be this cart, because I heard there's... Ow! There's like a crossbow person up there. Okay, let's pop our decent potion. Jesus Christ. Alright, well, we've taken a ton of random damage in this fight because this guy had fucking 3 flame atronachs, but we're behind cover right now, so we're relatively safe. This is a tricky situation because I don't want to hug cover because I'll lose visibility, but because I'm standing, if I'm too far away from cover, my head will be exposed. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to turn my lantern off because it's going to kind of light blind me a little bit, and I'll see better without it on. See that? There's like a guy right there. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Let's get our lantern back on, and we're going to slowly kind of bound the distance on this guy. So we're here, we're offset from cover. I don't see him, so we're going to move to our next cover position, which is here. You also got to see me do some zigzagging to close the distance on that mage and dodge both him and the flame atronach stuff. I don't know where this guy is. Okay, I think I'm just going to go for it. Okay, crossbow bolt got loosed. Let's keep moving, closing the distance. We're definitely going to bull rush this guy. Let's zigzag a bit so he doesn't shoot us. Ah, we didn't get the bull rush. That's okay. We're still going to get the slash and the kill. Okay, woo! Courtyard is clear. That was super, super scary. Oh my god. Oh, our character's very cold too, which is not ideal. Okay, so courtyard is clear. Let's just do a quick loot of some of these random bodies. This guy is like supposed to be in this cage, but he clipped through the bottom. Let me check out this mage that we killed. He might have some good stuff on him. God, he has another fucking flame atronach thing. That's really funny. He must have had like 4 of those. This is all good gear that I'll grab later. I'm also going to pop the healing poultice now, because that will gradually regenerate us while we're moving. Looks like these guys are not going to have a lot of good loot, but that's okay because we're going to keep clearing out this dungeon. So concepts that we've seen so far, we got to see armor swapping as we snuck closer. We got to see a nice little crossbow initiation when we killed that orc over down by this fireplace. Then we got to see a nice bull rush when we ran into this, what is he, an Argonian? Sorry, buddy. Oh my god, I chopped his tail off. I didn't even know you could do that. Oh, that's really gory. Anyway, we bull rushed the Argonian. We did a corner cut to kill this Dunmer lady here. And then we talked a lot about like use of cover and closing the distance using like leapfrogging cover to get close to kill this mage, plus some zigzagging to get there. Okay, well let's head inside. There's 2 other areas in Fort Neugrad. There's the main keep here, and then there's the prison. There's also a back door to the prison we'll talk about later. I'm gonna ignore the main keep for now. We're gonna work the prison instead. I'm gonna armor swap. Honestly, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this guy's light armor. Sorry, buddy. I need it more than you do, though. And I'll armor swap into light armor, so that way if I get attacked as I come through this door, I have some armor on. And then I'm going to sneak in here just to get my bearings. Whenever you sneak in, it's tempting to like be super like tactical and like sneak in with your crossbow out. I do not recommend doing that though, because enemies can react before you enter the room, and you'll just get smashed in the face right as you enter. So I recommend if you're going to enter a room, enter it with your melee weapon out, and then switch to a crossbow or a ranged weapon once you're inside. Alright, so let's head in here, and let's warm up a bit, and we'll see what's inside. Ooh, I leveled up here too, that's kind of nice. Okay, so Fort Neugrad Prison. This area is interesting because in the vanilla game there's only 3 enemies here. There's like 2 in a room over here and then 1 downstairs. You can like hear some of them right now. But because I have some mods installed, there could be as many as 3 or 4 in this room and 2 downstairs. So I don't know how many people are actually in this area. So what that means, I have to kind of work this a little more strategically. So first thing I'm gonna do is just sneak in here and grab my bearings. Honestly, I'm just gonna hang out by this fireplace to warm up my poor character because Akai is like freezing to death right now. I did level up though. I'm like tempted to level up in the middle of the fight, but I think I'll wait till these guys are dead because I have unpaused menus. So if these guys ambush me while I'm leveling up, I'm gonna be really unhappy. Okay, let's talk about interior spaces with the crossbow. So again, I think there's a temptation when we're using crossbows, especially like sight-aligned crossbows, to be like, ooh, we're gonna be super tactical and like clear this place out. And like, yeah, you kind of can do that. There's a time and a place for that. But honestly, our greatsword hits way harder, and it's gonna be able to kill enemies more reliably. So there is a time and a place to clear spaces with a crossbow, but this is not going to be that space. If you didn't know how many enemies were in here, the advantage of sneaking in like this is you can listen and kind of distinguish voices. So like, I hear someone over there, I heard someone over there, so now I know there's at least 2 people here, but this is a closed door, so I don't know how many people are in there, so I'm always going to assume the worst case scenario. I don't want to open that door over there with a crossbow, shoot one person, and then find that there's 3 other people in the room who are attacking me. So I'm going to use my greatsword for that. I'm probably warmed up by now. Yeah, I'm warmed up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of sneak a little bit closer to this door. Handles right here. We typically in Skyrim want to open doors on the handle side. It's hard to tell though, because like you can't see hinges. I don't know if this is an inward or an outward opening door. Generally speaking, if you open it on the handle side though with the 2-handed build, at least you can reliably just run in. If I open it on the non-handle side, like over there, and this swings out, then I'm gonna get stuck in this frickin' corner while this door is blocking me. So if I open it here, at least I'll be able to run into the room. Alright, so we did some armor swapping to get in. Let's swap back into our heavy armor. And then we're gonna open this door, go inside, and then basically kill everything that moves. But we're gonna prioritize squishier enemies first. We're not gonna waste all of our swings on heavy armored enemies. So we're gonna try to open this door and find the weakest enemy and try to kill those guys first. Let's see what happens. Alright, armor. This guy's really lightly armored, so I'm gonna kill that guy.
Looks like you got her.
Whew, super scary. Okay, so 2 guys are down. I did take a hit there, but now we can switch to crossbows. Alright, so that worked out super, super well. Beheaded. Okay, I don't know if there's more people downstairs. I'm going to assume there's not, or they'd probably be coming up with this guy. But just in case, I'm still going to kind of clear this. This is a good time to clear things because we've already killed 2 or 3 enemies, so it's okay to kind of work these corners and like gradually clear out a room. You'll notice I'm not like hugging this wall right here and then just like being peekaboo like that. Like that's a terrible idea. I'm staying off of cover and then gradually slicing this pie to see more and more of the room. And like I said, it's probably going to be clear because if there'd been more people, they'd probably have run up with their friend here. Okay, so pretty clean fight there. We did get hit by a mace, but like didn't really deal that much damage. So because I chose to open this door and just run right in instead of using a crossbow, I was able to ignore the heavier armored person here, run over to the lightly armored person and kill him in 1 hit. Maybe 2 hits, I forget. And that's actually great because he didn't have a lot of great items, but like he could have had better scrolls and that would have been really scary. No real great loot here, but we'll just grab what we can. As far as looting goes in Fort Neugrad, there's tons of like ruined books you can grab and break down into paper. I'm not going to worry about that though. I'll do that at the end of the episode. Then there was this lady. She kind of had a mix of heavy armor and light armor, like some light armor stuff here, but she had a big shield and a heavy armor helmet. So that was not the person that I wanted to engage right away, and I could tell right away because I came in and saw that she had a heavy armor helmet, so that's why I focused on this guy instead. Then what I was able to do is I was able to swap to my crossbow and slowly kind of work towards this area. Technically, if I wasn't playing a heavy armored character, I probably wouldn't want to move towards this area. I'd probably want to stay back here and just wait with some cover. But because I'm playing a heavy armored character, what I wanted to do was shoot this person and quickly close the distance, which is what ended up happening. And then the crossbow bolt dealt enough damage that this guy ran away, and then we were able to kill him with a follow-up slash. So pretty clean clear right there. I'm going to do a quick loot of all this just to see if I can find any healing potions. 'Cause we're like a little low on healing potions right now, which I don't love. Magica potion there, some gold. I don't know if we're gonna find anything. I doubt I can even open this. I actually can. Ooh, Dwarven War Axe is nice. I'm actually gonna grab that Dwarven War Axe, and that's gonna be my secondary weapon for this upcoming fight in the main keep. I'll check downstairs too. I talked earlier about how there's a back entrance to this area. Like, don't step on this trap. It's bad. There's a back entrance to this area. You can swim in through this pool of water. If you open the world map, you can see there's like a lake right here, and you can go underwater and sneak in the back this way into Fort Neugrad. You'll be freezing after you do that, but then you can just warm up in this tunnel before you kind of work through the prison area. Anyway, so that's Fort Neugrad prison. Pretty standard clear, and we're at pretty good health. What I am going to do now is level up, just because I have a good window to do that. I'm going to grab a point in stamina. Now we have some really tough choices here as far as our perks go. We could do this perk, which makes less stamina per power attack, as well as reduce our armor weight penalties. It also makes our unarmed damage deal more. I'm actually, though, going to do Barbaric Might, because Barbaric Might has a big reduction in our power attack stamina cost, and it adds armor penetration, which will give us more ability to kill armored enemies in this next area that we're about to do. It looks like there's a potion here. I think it's probably like fortified carry weight, maybe? Yeah, fortified carry weight. Okay, so we're pretty good here. As far as buffs go, we got 6 minutes left on the beef stew. We got a ton of time left on the mammoth tomato stew. Crossbows loaded up. We are good to go, so we're going to head out of the prison. We're going to head on over to the main Fort Neugrad keep and work through that. And we have some panic buttons here if we need them. I'm not going to use the scrolls initially, but I am going to hotkey them just in case we end up needing them, and also hotkey my other stamina potion. Honestly, though, that went pretty well. So I think at this point we've killed, like, I don't know, 8 or 9 bandits. Kind of lost track. But we don't have any, like, seriously good potions or anything. So, like, this is just an example of how, like, you can do this at early levels. We took the most damage, honestly, because of this fucking asshole who kept summoning flame Atronachs. That did a ton of damage to us, because we ended up having to, like, zigzag to him, and then we ended up getting blasted by some fire and a crossbow bolt. But we still didn't die, so that all worked out. Okay, so we're entering a new room. We're gonna armor swap to enter. What I will say about armor swapping to enter, this is kind of a risk that I didn't talk about earlier, is if you armor swap to enter a room and you're immediately in a combat situation, like you have no opportunity to stealth and they just ambush you, then you're in big trouble, because now you're wearing light armor instead of your heavy armor. For the most part, though, enemies don't hang out right by the door, which is kind of weird. It's kind of like a metagame thing. I don't know why they don't have more sentries. But for whatever reason, they don't hang out right by the door, which gives us a little bit more breathing room when we enter a room. So, the Fort Neugrad keep, though, like, I don't know why there's no bandit stationed here. Honestly, if I was gonna make this fight a little bit harder, I'd add, like, one dude right here on the bench or at this counter. That would make this fight way, way harder, because then you couldn't set up. Alright, so let's sneak forward to the door. Unsneak. Turn off our walk, and let's get back inside of our heavy armor. You can just hear there's a ton of bandits in here. We have a mod called Requiem, like more randomized spawns or something, so there could be anywhere between like 6 and 10 bandits in here, so this fight's gonna get really messy. I'll try to talk through it as I fight. We might end up having to do some more recap at the end. This room up ahead here is kind of like a really, really big open room. The way I recommend navigating rooms like this, if you know what the room looks like from metagame knowledge, then like that's good enough. But if you don't know, or if you want to be a little bit more realistic, what you can do is you can kind of get in light armor, and then open the door and kind of like take it. Oh, fuck, that guy saw me. Okay, that is the disadvantage of doing it that way. So let's get into our heavy armor. Okay, I'm not gonna have time to get a crossbow out, but this guy is using a super slow warhammer. So now I will get my crossbow out. Again, I'm staying away from these doors, so that way if someone walks through them, I'll have a reaction gap.
You won't live to see tomorrow.
Oh, this is super scary. I'm gonna close this door. Opening and closing doors is super important in... Ooh, that guy is poison. I'm definitely gonna take that. I'm actually gonna put that poison on this crossbow right now. Opening and closing doors is super important when we're clearing out rooms, because it gives us one extra barrier between us and any enemies who are attacking us. Also, it means if I'm like fighting at this door and I hear a door open, I know someone is coming through that door. Okay, so this is a huge freaking room. We'll try to kind of clear this out with a crossbow, but realistically, this is a bad idea.
I swear I'll kill you.
We can't see anything here. Okay, let's close this door. Let's try this door instead.
You won't live to see tomorrow.
Okay, there's someone up there on that balcony. I just saw someone like loading or knocking an arrow. Ooh, and I hear someone coming. This is a good opportunity to use a crossbow. Someone might come through one of these doors. You'll notice that I'm not just charging into that open room because it is a huge open space and there's tons of archers up there. The disadvantage of this though is they're all coming for me. Okay, one guy dead there, so we've got 2 guys dead so far. Let's close the door. And then let's reload. We might not be able to get this reload off in time. Oh boy, there's a lot of people coming. Okay, so we got that guy there. This guy... Okay, this is an interesting case because he's got a shield. Ooh, we do not want to be stuck in the corner here. Alright, we gotta move.
Not like this.
Okay, so we moved and we kind of relocated. I'm gonna grab this potion as I run. Is that another fucking flame atronach? That guy's dead. Oh, Jesus. Run! Oh, this is super scary. Okay, let's pop our stamina potion. We're gonna run this guy down. Oh, fucking hell. There's a fucking mage down there.
You're nothing.
Oh, this mage is a serious problem.
Look! You puny weak.
We might have to rage here. We are gonna rage here. Ow. That guy's dead. Let's keep moving. At this point, the scariest thing that we have to deal with is that mage. So I'm gonna hop into this room right here. Oh, thank God there's a healing potion here. We're gonna pop that real quick. We'll check in this chest if there's more healing potions, if there are. So let's hotkey those. Okay, we're getting slightly regrouped here. We raged a little earlier than I would like. Let's pop a stamina potion. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna summon a spirit wolf and we're gonna send this guy out. Oh my God. That fucking guy with his fucking zappies. Jesus Christ. Okay, she's dead. Let's loot her. Looks like she's got some good stuff. Let's go back inside this room. Ooh, she's got good health potions. Alright, let's go over here. There's really no good cover. This is not a great spot to reload a crossbow, but I'm gonna take advantage of it while I can. Slowly work this room. There's at least 2 of them that I hear. Okay, I don't think there's any others. Okay, that's clear. Let's close this door so that way we can, if someone goes through that, we can hear them. Let's check out this room. Looks like no one's here. Check out this room. Looks like no one's here. Like I said, we're closing doors as we go, so that way if enemies go through these doors, we'll hear them. Okay, there's definitely someone else here. Okay, let's move to our next cover point. Close that door. Okay, so for these little tighter spaces, it's okay to kind of use a crossbow to work around these corners. We've heard a male voice and a female voice, so we know there's at least 2 enemies left. I like can't help but loot that right there. Okay, I don't see anyone there.
Found you.
I don't know where this
Orc filth.
talking about like orc filth and shit. This person is super racist. I don't know where this person is. This is really scary. Alright, I'm gonna go to, because I don't really have any idea where this person is. I'm just gonna use my great
You'll be
sword.
so much easier to rob when you're dead.
Where the fuck is this person? I don't even hear any footsteps.
You won't live to see tomorrow.
Maybe she's up here? Okay, I don't know where this person is. Maybe she's in this other room. Like, there's still a room I haven't opened the door of, and she might be back. In fact, that's probably where she is. Okay, so we're going to assume that she's back there. Which means that we've killed basically everyone else in this area. I'll just pop another stamina crude potion. Whew! That was a super scary fight. Gosh, I'll try to recap as much of this as possible because there was all kind of like shenanigans that we had to do here with like bash interruption. I don't know who is talking. I'm assuming they're in that room that's locked downstairs. Okay, let's clear out that room. I'm gonna pop the potion health good.
I swear I'll kill you.
Alright, so this is a good example of where we do want to use a crossbow because we have like an unknown door with unknown enemies behind there. We don't just want to open this door and run in because if we do, we could just get killed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this door and then quickly move back to this cover point and then kind of work around this. I'll check this for loot really quickly though because sometimes there's like a necklace in there. Alright, so let's do this. We're going to open this door.
I swear I'll kill you.
And then run back to here and slowly work this room. Oh, I'll miss horribly. This guy, I don't know what this guy's doing here. Okay, that guy's done. There's like presumably someone else in here, but I don't think they're in this room. I don't know where this other person is. But there's no one else in here.
Die, you orc filth.
And this lady is just like super racist. Oh, she's right there. Oh my god, I missed this lady like the whole time. She's like stuck in this corner.
I swear I'll kill you.
Are you ever gonna get out of this corner? God, I feel bad for this lady. Here, we're gonna give her a fighting chance. We're gonna move her to us. Oh my god, I can't move her to me? Really? Hold on, hold on. Run away! Okay, great. We'll give her a fighting chance. Alright, so for her, I think we'll probably just do for her because she's got this huge heavy battle axe is we'll try to do some corner cuts on her.
Tomorrow. I'll have your head.
So just kind of some manual dodges right there, just kind of moving in and out of the cover. Or moving in and out of the range. Whew! Well, that was a crazy fight. Okay, so that is the end of the fight. Gosh, I kind of like, I might break this down with some recaps or like clip some stuff in what I'm doing post-production. Fight's over though. So we've killed all the bad guys in Fort Neugrad. The fort is clear at this point. Let's kind of recap our route though. Okay, so we're gonna do some post-production commentary here so I can talk a little bit more coherently instead of in the heat of that fight. So this first guy we're gonna kill is a Dunmer who comes through the door, and this is going to be a bash disruption to stop his Warhammer swing. So technique is bash disruption. Super important for your own playthroughs that you're able to do this consistently against Warhammer enemies. If you can't time this against a Warhammer enemy, you're not going to be able to time it against other enemies. So this is a great way to practice that. Find a Warhammer enemy, bash disrupt, get the kill every time. Okay, so we got two techniques in this next section. First one we're going to see is a quick crossbow initiation. Guy's going to come through the door and we're going to shoot him, get a little bit of damage on him without having to use a lot of stamina. Then what we're going to do is right as he comes in to swing with his greatsword, we're going to get a nice clean bash interruption at the beginning of his swing to get the guaranteed kill on the follow-up. So if you can't do this against Warhammers, you're definitely not going to be able to do it against Great Swords. Just kind of speaks to the importance of more bash interruption practice for your own characters. Alright, so this is where the fight gets really crazy and chaotic, so the commentary is really necessary in post-production. So I'm going to spot an archer who's trying to get through the door, and I'm going to initiate with my crossbow, but as I do that, this heavy armor orc is going to get in between us. So what I end up doing in the video, I don't comment on this at the time, but you see it here, is I try to shoot over this orc's shoulder, because I don't want to hit the orc, because the orc is heavily armored, and the bolt's not going to kill him. And then I'll be fighting both the orc and the crossbow person. Instead, what I do is I shoot over the orc's shoulder, hit the archer, which temporarily puts him out of the fight, and then I'm just fighting the orc and his friend as they come in the room. So when you're initiating with crossbows, prioritize the squishier people if possible. After that point, I get a bash interrupt on this orc, but I realize that I'm stuck in the fucking corner right there, and you really do not want to be in that corner, or really in any corner, when you're playing Wildlander, even in heavy armor. So I get the hell out of the room. Now when I get the hell out of that room, though, I realize there's a mage down there, because I'm getting zapped and I hear spells going off, and that's why I end up breaking out of the main open room, which is not where you want to fight mages and archers, and go off to a side room. As I do that, I also close the door, so that way I can kind of do a little bit of mini area denial, so if people go through that door, I'll hear it open. Then I grab that potion as well. Then eventually, this guy with the sword catches up to me, and I have to do kind of a really quick tap bash interruption. This really speaks to the importance of being able to bash interrupt even when you're not expecting it. It just has to be reflexive. Because this is a really easy opening. He's lunging at me and I managed to get a kill here and don't have to worry about this guy later because I'm mentally prepared to do a quick bash tap, knock him off balance and get the kill. Now, unfortunately, what happens here is this orc follows up and I get a dodge, but there's not a lot of space to do a good corner cut, so I don't get a follow-up swing, and I realize I'm going to get stuck in another one of those fucking corners, so I move out of that area and move up to the second floor, hoping to maybe flank those archers. I don't do a bull rush here, and some of you might have watched the video and wondered why. The reason I don't do a bull rush here is because if I do a bull rush, it's going to cost some stamina. And then I'm going to lose a ton of stamina just knocking over this random archer. I don't even need to knock him over. I end up just kind of circling around him and slicing him on the side. So there's no reason to use a bull rush there and waste the stamina or kind of slow down your momentum because you're going to get the kill anyway. Unfortunately, right after that, I don't kill the guy in the first hit, which means I have to get a follow-up swing, which gives the mage on the first floor a chance to blast me with a lightning bolt, and later in this fight I'm going to learn this is a staff of lightning bolts. Here's where beef stew is obviously important, because without that beef stew I probably would have been dead right there, but I prepared appropriately so I don't die. At that point in time, I realize I don't want to be on that balcony. I'm getting flanked on both sides, so I run past everyone and try to reset to another part of the fort, which means I end up actually running past some enemies, but at this point I have to pop a healing potion and just gotta kind of reset myself because at the moment I am a little unfocused and just in survival mode. I don't want to get in like the panic swinging situation, so I just gotta keep moving.
You're nothing.
Really important thing that happens here is I get down these stairs and notice that this room up ahead is clear, but I don't stop moving, I keep moving, which actually means that I'm already moving when this other orc comes behind me and tries to hit me with an axe, which again lets me kind of reset and get my bearings. You really don't want to stop moving in these crazy fights. Like sometimes heavy armor you need to walk and go really slowly. And then other times you just have to rely on moving and getting to a better position. And this is one of those times where standing still was going to get me killed. Okay, so I wanted to save rage as long as possible in these harder fights, and I end up having to use it here because I see he pops a healing potion, and I realize that if this fight continues to go on, he's going to gain more health. I'm getting flanked. I hear footsteps all around me. I still have to deal with that mage. And I know the mage is on the first floor and going to flank me. So I use rage here to ensure that this hit kills him, and I pop it right before I get the slash in. Then on this second guy here, I think a lot of people when they berserker rage get into panic swinging mode where they just kind of hack randomly, and that's a great way to just take unnecessary damage. What I end up doing here is I get a block in, and I get a bash disruption in while I'm also doing the fight. He does end up hitting me once, but I'm dealing way more damage than him, and it's way better that he only hits me once instead of 3 times, which is how many times he would have hit me if I hadn't been bash interrupting or blocking during that fight. So just a reminder that if you're going to rage, or if you're like a red guard and you got adrenaline rush, if you're a dark elf and you're using ancestral guardians, just because you hit your sort of like I win, kill everything, Rambo mode button, don't forget your combat fundamentals because they're still valuable. Now I end up retreating to this room after killing those guys, and my goal is just to regroup and just double check my hotkeys and reload the crossbow, but I actually see a potion on the lower shelf, which is fantastic, and then I double check the nearby chest, which has other potions in it, so this ends up being really helpful. I like regrouping when possible in a permadeath unpaused menus run, because otherwise your heart rate can get up even though you're just playing a computer game and you'll start making dumb decisions. Then what I do is this technique I think I called it in the video like spirit wolf baiting or send in the spirit wolf. Basically, you use a scroll to summon some sort of random creature. Spirit wolves are awesome because they move really quickly and those scrolls come up in a lot of fights. And then what that does is it distracts the enemies outside, temporarily draws their focus away, and lets you get out of a room to close distance. And that works out really well here because the mage lady ends up turning to face the spirit wolf, which gives me time to come in and slash her. She still gets a zap on me, but if that spirit wolf hadn't been there, she would have gotten 2 or 3 zaps, which may have killed me. Probably would have killed me because I think each of those zaps is dealing like 80 damage or something. So the spirit wolf distraction is a really, really important technique if you find yourself in a tough spot pinned down by mages or archers, and we use it here to really good effect. Okay, and that's kind of the end of the post-production commentary I want to do. Obviously, like, you gotta check your corners when you go in rooms, because I totally missed that lady that was stuck in the wall in the big room, but didn't really matter, and the fight was super over by that time, and I was commentating, so I'm gonna chalk that one up to just like an inconsequential mistake, but good reminder to be a little more thorough in the future. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop the post-production commentary and then resume the video that I filmed during the actual gameplay. Just fast forward it a bit and get to the point where Akai was kind of like looting people and back up on the balcony. Looking at some of the corpses up there. So we'll rejoin right there and be back with the commentary that I recorded live during the video. And then after that, I think there weren't a lot of guys left and it became a little bit easier. Then obviously we had this poor lady who like got stuck over there in the wall, but that wouldn't have made too much of a difference. And then we got this, like, I don't even know if this guy is supposed to be a mage, like, Brandish right here. Let's look. He's only got 122 magicka, and his health max is 95, so I don't know. This is just, like, some guy's, like, grandpa or uncle. He just got roped into this bandit caper. Anyway, tons of loot in Fort Neugrad. There's a chest in here. I don't remember if I can open this though. There's like 200 paper rolls in here if you break down all the books. And then a nice little other bonus you can grab is that's actually a bowl of beef stew that you can pick up. So a nice little reward for finishing the dungeon. Anyway, what a fucking mess. I might do some post-production and kind of highlight some of the areas here, but otherwise that's the end of the episode for today. We leveled up once in this, so we're kind of midway through level 4, so I'll have to figure out what we're doing next time. We'll probably do like Voltime Towers or something that's a fun one. Let me know in the comments or on Discord if you have any questions. Lots of techniques we covered today with crossbow cover. Talked about bull rushing. We talked about working around cover as we advance on archers and mages. We talked about using spirit wolf baiting. Lots of things to talk about. as far as recap goes. So we'll see those techniques in a future episode. But thanks again for watching. Let me know if you have any comments, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.